Ko mi je bila postavljena diagnoza, se mi je praktično sesul svet. Ker še vedno kot odraščajoč najstnik imaš upanje, da so te težave minljive, da jih boš prerastel, u bistvu pa te soočijo z neozdravljivo boleznijo.
I onda jednog dana mi kažu, znate, vi imate multiplu sklerozu.
To je bio najgori period u našem životu, te 2 nedelje kada smo trebali u stvari da se suočimo sa tom samom dijagnozom.
Pred več kot 13 leti sam zbolela za rakom dojke.
Ja sam majka djevojčice koja je preminula od rijetke bolesti. Bolovala je od neuronalnu cerebne lipofuscinoze tipa 7.
Imam distoniju.
Sa svojih 23 godine probudio sam se u nesnosnim bolovima, zakočenih ruku, zakočenih nogu, nisam znao šta mi se događa. Imao sam ludu sreću, za razliku od puno drugih pacijenata tada u Jugoslaviji, da je moja liječnica opće prakse sama imala artritis i prepoznala ga je odmah. Ja sam imao dijagnozu u 2 tjedna.
Kada se radi o rijetkim bolestima, zaista ne možemo očekivati da je na maloj zemlji ti imaš specijalista baš za svaku rijetku bolest, njih ima više od 7000 vrsta. Ali taj način komunikacije, kad imaš liječnika kojim nije problem njegov ego i kojim je u interesu pacijent, to je najbolja moguća skrb.
Zaradi dosežkov v medicini, farmaciji, lahko danes jaz normalno živim. Brez teh dosežkov, brez tega vedenja o tej bolezni, o funkcioniranju možganov, o pomoči možganov in tako naprej, jaz danes bi bil verjetno en bolnik na postelji brezpomočen, morda na vozičku.
Lijekovi koje uzimam svaki dan znači da zapravo mogu da se bavim svim onim što bi mi inače invaliditet oduzeo. To je svakako fizička aktivnost, stvaralaštvo, umetnost, ljubav, druženje i svakako moj instinkt da pomognem drugim ljudima.
Zdravila, ki jih prejemam enkrat na 8 tednov, pomenijo, da lahko normalno funkcioniram, sem samostojen.
Kad treba da se primi terapija, on čak zna meni da kaže sam mama, ali došlo je vreme da ja trebam da primim terapiju. I on srećan odlazi zato što on zna da posle svake te terapije on kući dolazi jači, bolji i da može da napreduje.
Zdravnik mora biti partner bolnika u tem procesu.
Pa jedan, da kažem, hajde suborac, ja ću reći, samog pacijenta, jer jednako se bori s nama.
Verujte lekarima i farmaceutima jer samo nauka i naučno istraživanje na dokazima zasnovane činjenice mogu doprinijeti boljitku čovečanstva.
Vjerujte ljekarima i farmaceutima jer su oni jednako u borbi skupo s vama.
Taj odnos liječnik-pacijent je u stvari ključ cijele ove naše priče. Hvala Bogu da su tu i hvala Bogu da im vjerujemo.
Why are we here tonight? For the exact same reason as all the people we've just witnessed. Their stories should help us better understand the importance of heroes in medicine and in pharmacy, those responsible for important breakthroughs in this area, and those who offer their patients better treatments and a better quality of life. Good evening, Europe. Good evening, Austria, Bulgaria, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, Croatia, Hungary, North Macedonia, Slovenia and Serbia. A warm welcome to everyone who tuned in tonight, regardless of your location. If you happen to be in bed wearing your favorite slippers, or if you're on the couch enjoying a wholesome, nutritious meal consisting of potato chips and beer, we don't judge, we're just happy to see you. It was our wish and intention to spend the evening together in person in the company of this year's finalists and members of the scientific committee, doctors and pharmacists and special guests. A gala evening is what we had in mind, but alas, this is a wish we were unable to fulfill live in person due to the current COVID situation. And not only that, it is important to us that you all remain close to those who need you most in these desperate times. And this brings us back to our main theme, trust and responsibility. And now allow me to present tonight's keynote speaker. He's a man who truly understands the importance of trust and scientific research, a proponent of the need for knowledge to be publicly available and inclusive, rooted in the awareness that scientific inspirations need to be kindled in the younger generations as well. trust, science and the new generation. The rector of the University of Ljubljana, Professor Dr. Gregor Majdic.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk at this important event. At the University of Ljubljana, we trust science, what is normal, as we are also creating science. We are all currently in a challenging situation, but there is no doubt that we have at our disposal a tool that can help us fight this epidemic. Throughout the human history, people have managed to get through difficult times only when working as a connected community. I therefore appeal to us all to stand together and start believing in science once again. We must slowly rebuild the trust in science in the society. Therefore, it is very important to spread the knowledge to the widest possible circle of the public, but especially to young people who will lead and guide our societies in the coming years and decades. What we pass on to the younger generations and what we are prepared to do today for the future researchers, scientists, and experts in a variety of fields is vital. I am certain that the award we are bestowing today presents an important piece of this puzzle.
Many thanks to the rector of the University of Ljubljana for his introductory thoughts. The International Medis Award has had quite a history so far and reaches back to 2014. It boasts 1,100 medical research papers, 65 award winners, 10 independent scientific committee members, and a myriad of positive stories which form the filament of the medical science and enable advancement in treatments and life quality in those in need. This year, 2,030 applications were received for the tender from 8 countries, and the scientific committee has narrowed those down to 180 and distilled a further 19 finalists in 9 categories. Let us now meet the members of the scientific committee in the areas of awards respectively. In the field of gastroenterology, Professor Markus Pek Radosavljevic. Gynecology, Professor Istvan Siller. Intensive care and anesthesiology, Professor Peja Kovacevic. Neurology, Professor Dragoslav Sokic. Ophthalmology, Professor Nikola Babic. Pediatrics, Professor Aspasia Sofjanova. Pharmacy, Associate Professor Donatela Verbanac. Pulmonology and Allergology, Professor Mitja Košnik. And Rheumatology, Professor Branimir Anic. And last but not least, allow me to introduce for the first time in this role the President of the Scientific Committee, Professor Borut Strukel.
Dear colleagues, in these stormy times, our trust is tested, especially trust in science. On the one hand, it seems that we live in a world where anyone can comment on anything to do with science or even pretend to be a scientist. But on the other hand, trust in science, the research and development of medicines and vaccines, the development of diagnostic procedures and other treatment options is rooted and growing in our hearts. For me and the other members of the International Scientific Committee, there is no doubt about this, especially after evaluating the submitted research works. All of the studies are of high quality, inspiring, are a source of change for the better, and their power is extraordinary. The International Scientific Committee identified all the final research papers as exceptional scientific works with great potential for use in basic or clinical medicine or pharmacy. We are extremely pleased to have received numerous of applications from candidates who published their findings in top scientific journals with a high impact factor. And some works also published in the highest ranked medicinal publications in the world. Therefore, trust in science is not and should never be questioned. I know very well how much effort, energy, and sleepless night researchers and scientists, including all of the finalists tonight, invest in acquiring knowledge, in research, in finding new solutions. How difficult it is to devote mounts and mounts to your goal while still pursuing clinical work, and how the hope that the success of our work can have a major impact on the treatment of patient motivates us. And that's exactly where we can position tonight's awards. All the winners and finalists, as well as the other participants, are part of a big story. I perceive the International Medis Awards, and I hope that you share my sentiments, as a sincere tribute to doctors and pharmacists, as a contribution to ensuring that their work does not be unnoticed, that it takes them 2 steps forward and puts them in the spotlight. And finally, I would like to express my biggest gratefulness to both the owner of Medis Pharmaceutical Company and founder of International Medis Awards, Mr. Tone Strnad, as well as to CEO of Medis, Dr. Martina Perharic, for their visionary activities from beginning till now. And I do believe for contribution of this extremely important contest in future. May this be an encouragement for all of us, for our work, that our work is meaningful, useful, and good. Let's continue doing it.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I could not have imagined a better introduction. Let us begin now with the first area, neurology, an area on the verge of many new exciting discoveries in the field of neurological disease in modern times.
When I met neurology in the faculty, it interested me instantly. We know a lot of things about human brain function, and even what we know excites you. But then also there is some enigma, some things that we don't know, and this kind of draws you to it.
Research and clinical work has always been interconnected to me, and I was always equally devoted to both work. Our research was focused on task specificity in dystonia. It selectively affects some of the finest motor tasks like writing or speaking or playing the instrument. For example, in a group of musicians can cause the end of their professional career.
What we were investigating is why in some people this CPAP is not effective, but it actually triggers central sleep apnea. And what we found is that patients who have unstable control of breathing are prone to this treatment-emergent central sleep apnea. What the future holds, according to our results and also numerous other studies, tailored treatment approaches will be available for different phenotypes of obstructive sleep apnea patients.
After the botulinum toxin treatment, his fingers were more relaxed and he could control them better in order to play his instrument the way he's used to.
Since I remember, I always wanted to do something meaningful, and by performing clinical and research work, I think I certainly find this rewarding.
We asked the president of the International Scientific Committee, Professor Dr. Borut Strukel, to reveal the first recipient of the IMA Award of the evening in the area of neurology.
Dear colleagues, dear finalists, it's a real pleasure and honor as a president of International Medis Awards to announce a winner, a first winner within the field of neurology. The winner is Aleksandra Tomic Pešić.
I can't believe that. Thank you so much. I'm really happy.
This was the first award of the evening. Congratulations, and you can read the commentary on the IMA website. Before we take further steps in building this fine evening based on trust, medical expertise, and the restless spirit of exploration, Let me tell you that we have many surprises in store for you, and we're saving the biggest one yet until the very end. A very wonderful story crafted especially for today's event. The author is going to present it in the most universal of all languages, and it is sure to leave a lasting impact. And now we're moving on to the second area of our award ceremony, gastroenterology.
My interest in gastroenterology began really soon. These patients have this certain amount of problems, and you could really see how patients would come in such a bad state. So I really felt that what we were doing, it was really, really cool, because you could see the impact of your work in patients' lives.
So important questions in gastroenterology and hepatology are numerous. So we have a lot of unsolved problems, and also in this disease potent therapeutic options are still missing.
In the project that I applied, I was working mainly in the area of the iron storage disease, which is called hemochromatosis, how to diagnose it and allow further proper treatment for patients. So actually I think this will be the main trend in the next few years, to identify certain clinical syndromes and try to understand which genetic alterations are leading to this disease.
Alcoholic liver disease is a very global problem, and we used alpha-1 antitrypsin to treat alcoholic liver disease. Giving and treating these patients with alpha-1 antitrypsin and seeing that it would be effective in this patient group, for me would be very satisfying and special.
My team is really great. I really like the fact that the whole group is really connected, and we're not only professionals, we're also on a friendship level.
It was fun working together, developing ideas, always to having this in mind that patients and doing this for them, it feels good.
Professor Dr. Markus Pek-Radosavljević, a member of the International Scientific Committee, is going to reveal the winner and present the award.
So, gastroenterology, or as I prefer to call it, digestive health. Because it's not only about the stomach or the bowels, it's also about the liver and the pancreas. And it's not only about treating diseases, but it's also a lot about prevention. But we don't know enough about it, and for that reason we need a lot more research in this field. Fortunately, we do have a lot of research ongoing, and for that reason it's a great pleasure for me to announce the winner of this year's Medis Awards for Gastroenterology. And the winner is Christoph Granda.
Oh, wow! Thank you! That is great! Thank you very much. I'm very happy and proud.
This brings us to the area of intensive care medicine and anesthesiology. The practice of anesthesiology is progressing and developing hand in hand with surgical techniques, but its further development will require further efforts and flexibility and special proficiency in anesthesiology.
In general, the challenges of being an anesthesiologist and an intensivist is we have to handle the patient as a whole, so not just parts of the patient, and we have to cope with several other professions like the surgeons, and we always have to think forward. So we want to prevent problems, so we always keep thinking forward.
So in certain study, what we really try to do is to make sure wherever the patient in the world is admitted into the ICU, he gets the best care possible. The results of certain studies have clinical implications because we were able to demonstrate that by improving adherence to evidence-based medicine, we could improve patients' outcomes.
Our research was about comparing two devices that measure muscle strength during the operations, because anesthesiologists make certain patients weak during the operations, but we have to make sure that they get back to normal after the operation. And we compared two monitors, and we wanted to prove that the new monitor is also reliable and good.
I think that one of the major contributions of the certain study is that it really enables affordable dissemination of the knowledge worldwide.
Well, I think my research will have a big implication on my patients, and not just mine, but my patients in general, because it will help to increase patient safety by using these monitors.
It feels nice to work and to do something meaningful, and if it will help the humanity, I don't know, but we are trying every day.
The award will be presented by Professor Dr. Peja Kovacevic, member of the International Scientific Committee.
It is very important to announce that the three phases of medicine who are very important are, on the first place, treatment of the patient, especially critically ill patient. The second one is education, and the third one is research. And that's why I'm very proud to announce the winner of International Medis Awards for the field of anesthesia and critical care. And these awards go to Maria Vukoja.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I really want to thank everybody. And most of all, I want to thank my field.
As you could see, our team has managed to visit all the researchers throughout the region despite the difficult health situation and restrictions we found ourselves in. Allow me to shower you with some statistic data. They've driven more than 4,000 kilometers, visited 7 countries and 15 cities. It was by no means no small effort, but it was definitely worth it. We really got in touch firsthand with the researchers' positive energy, witnessed their efforts, and admired their responsibility and knowledge. I hope that we can feel a bit of that in the air tonight.
Our patients do not see well. They are somehow handicapped, and we are trying to do everything to make their vision better. But that takes time. It is much easier for patients if they know what are they waiting for, what their results will be.
Trenutno, kar nas ovira v našem delu, je to, da nas je premalo oftalmologov. Prav tako bi bile vesele tudi za finančno pomoč, ki bi nam pomagala v raziskovanju in da čim prej dosežemo novih ciljev in objav naših raziskav tudi širše.
The main researches in my field is to modify treatments in order to make them more comfortable for patients, cost-effective and faster. I research the predictability, how much visual acuity and dioptry will change after the treatment.
Ali obstajajo kakšne biološke kazalce, ki bi nam napovedali, kateri bolnik je nagnjen k razvoju glavkomske bolezni? Iščemo genetske variabilnosti, ki bi nam lahko napovedali, pri katerem bolniku katero zdravilo bo najbolj učinkovino, najmanj stranski učinki, da lahko izberemo in predpišemo.
I hope that it will be applied in customized treatments in future.
Produkt našega dela je vidno glede, kaj naredimo za pacijente in kako nazaj nam vrnejo s tem, da so hvaležni.
There is nothing else like happy patients after successful treatment.
And now, once again, I'm asking the Rector of University of Ljubljana, Professor Dr. Gregor Majdic, to declare the 4th IMA Award tonight.
I would like to declare this year's recipient of the International Medis Award for the medical research in the field of ophthalmology. And the award goes to Fanka Gilevska.
I didn't expect this, Marta.
I'm very happy. Thank you very much.
This brings us to the area of pediatrics. It is indeed an area of many novelties and innovations. In the light of the latest gene therapies for severe acute illnesses in childhood, it became evident that the child patient receives treatment immediately. Let's hear the researchers' thoughts on the subject.
Najbolja stvar u pedijatriji je to što djeca su zahvalni pacijenti. Ako dobro isterapirate to sve, vidite na očigled jedno kliničko poboljšanje i onda za nekoliko dana oni odlaze sretni kući, a vi ste zadovoljni zato što ste pomogli jednom pacijentu.
Najveća radost je kad nekim pristupom koji je dobar, uspijemo da nešto što mislimo da neće imati dobru prognozu da ima.
Istraživanje ima svoj cilj u kojem mi želimo razjasniti zašto se bolest pojavljuje na određenim područjima više, što je to što će na određenim drugim područjima uzrokovati manju pojavu učestalosti te bolesti, odnosno što je to što uzrokuje samu bolest.
Najveći fokus našeg istraživačkog tima je na hitnim stanjima koja su u stvari najteže jer traže praktično vrlo brzo odlučivanje i vrlo brzo sprovođenje tih odluka. Ako su odluke dobre, prednost i benefit je i za pacijenta. Ako nisu, onda niko nema koristi i iz tog razloga stalno smo u istraživanju i to je nešto što je sastavni dio našeg rada. Svako ozdravljeno dijete čini privilegiju za nas koju liječimo. Zahvaljujući ovom poslu.
Pedijatrijska reumatologija je područje u kojem imamo jako veliki razvoj i različitih oblika terapija koje mogu promijeniti klinički tijek od ove bilo kakve zapravo bolesti, reumatološke.
I mislim da je i ova studija jedan od doprinosa malih, ali doprinosa u toj spoznajnoj medicini koja se zasniva na činjenicama.
The award will be presented by Professor Dr. Aspazija Sofjanova, member of the expert jury.
As a pediatrician, we know how important it is the child's health. And we know that that's an issue for a healthy adult. As a professor in pediatrics, I'm honored to announce today the International Medis Award in the field of pediatrics. And that is Matej Šapina.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is quite a surprise. It was pretty unexpected.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the sixth area of our awards, the area of gynecology.
In the field of ovarian cancer, there are many open questions about the biological behavior of the tumor, because ovarian cancer is not one entity. It's a lot of different diseases known as ovarian cancer. The biggest problem is that it usually is not recognized in the early stages, and women who come with a disease which is already spread from the basic ovary usually have a poor prognosis. More than half of the patients die from the disease before 5 years.
Namen naše raziskave je bil ovrednotiti vlogo angiogenih faktorjev ter njihov diagnostični potencial pri pacijentkah, ki so zbolele z endometrijskim karcinomom. Do sedaj je za potrditev endometrijskega karcinoma bila potrebna biopsija, ki je bolj invazivna kot pa samo jemanje krvi.
So the final goal is to improve the treatment for patients with ovarian cancer, because it has very high mortality rate, and the so-called disease-free survival is also very poor in this patient. So there is a need for new drugs or new approach how to treat the disease.
zgodnje odkrivanje karcinoma endometrija v prognostično bolj ugodnem zgodnjem stadiju. S tem povečamo verjetnost za popolno ozdravitev in pa tudi manj invazivno zdravljenje.
And hopefully some days the biological or genetical treatment will be there and there will be no need for surgery, mutilation and all these problems we have now.
Before we move on to the award, I would like to say that all the winners of the International Medis Award 2021 will receive an outstanding statuette designed by the Slovenian sculptor Jako Brdar called Future. Now, we've made all preparations for the winners to receive the statuettes as soon as possible after the ceremony. A postman will most probably ring your doorbell before morning. Please be kind to him. Make him a cup of tea as a sign of gratitude. Or at least give him a nightcap. Mr. Tone Sternat, who is the founding father of Medis and also the founding father of the International Medis Award, and also our next speaker, will now explain why the statue is called Future.
While celebrating the 25th Medis anniversary, we were seriously thinking about our responsibility in the countries where we were active. We knew that we were successful in both our domestic and the international markets. In Central and Eastern European countries, the status of the medical science was somehow shaky. People were inclined not to trust it completely. That has continued to this day, and it can be seen as poor vaccination rates in these countries. We came up with the idea of the International Medis Award for clinical research. The aim was to find doctors and pharmacists who were working with patients while additionally doing research to improve the healthcare options. Actually, the main point was to show the general public that these doctors and pharmacists not only work and care, but also fight for progress in medicine. Consequently, we formed this contest, developed the whole system to find doctors and pharmacists who were publishing their work in important international health publications. We've also created the system with an independent scientific committee who chooses the best of these researchers every year. For the symbol of the award, we've chosen the sculpture Future from a well-known sculptor, Jako Brdar. It represents a globe, a rounded hole, and something new is coming from this hole. We still do not know exactly what this would be, but it is something new which may grow to something big and important. In the last 2 years, we present the awards at virtual events. We try our best to make the event interesting for general public and to put researchers and their tremendous work in the spotlight. This year's International Medis Award for Gynecology goes to Luka Roškar.
Thank you very much. I didn't expect that. That is a surprise, really.
Pulmonologists have become an indispensable force in COVID departments in the past 2 years. Their knowledge of intensive and critical medicine has become an integral part of daily hospital procedures. And with the arrival of COVID vaccines, allergologists have also stepped up their game. We have entered the area of pulmonology and allergology.
Pulmonology field has always been tough and demanding field, and now COVID has come and made things much more complicated. So when a new disease like COVID-19 comes, you have to do everything to find out more about this new beast that we have to fight.
Na področju alergologije, alergijskih bolezni in pa predvsem tudi astme so ti biomarkerji, ki bi napovedovali, kakšen je fenotip bolezni, kako bo bolezen potekala in pa predvsem, kako bi to bolezen lahko zdravili.
It was a research about some laboratory findings that could help us in predicting outcomes in patients with small cell lung cancer. This means that some markers can indicate which patients could benefit more from an earlier start of treatment.
I explored the role of lung ultrasound in predicting COVID-19's severity and mortality. Very soon I noticed something strange, and that lung ultrasound can predict which patient will end up on a ventilator. So even a hospital system can plan how many respirators would they need if they know how many patients would end up badly.
V naši študiji, ki smo jo zastavili, smo raziskovali pacijente, ki so alergični na strup žuželk. Določeno število pacijentov po piku žuželk doživi alergijsko reakcijo, ki je lahko zelo blaga, lahko je pa zelo težka. In ugotovili smo dejansko, da obstajajo določene napovedni dejavniki, torej na nek način smo določili, kje so tisti biomarkerji, ki ločijo pacijente od teh, ki imajo lahko obliko alergije, do teh, ki imajo eno izrazito težko in jih tako lahko tudi drugače obravnavamo.
I think the coolest thing about my research is that lung ultrasound is a kind of a window to the future of COVID-19 pneumonia.
I want to believe that we will treat cancers much better in the future.
The winner will be awarded by Professor Dr. Mitja Košnik.
In pulmonology and allergology, there are many actual and important topics like lung cancer, COVID, anaphylaxis. I'm glad to have the opportunity to announce the winner of the International Medis Award in the field of pulmonology and allergology. And the winner is Gordana Drpa.
Oh my God, I don't know what to say. I am really grateful. Thank you.
Although the underlying causes for rheumatological disease remains unexplained and incurable, we have found that biological medication has changed the clinical practice and sprang several researches in the direction of therapeutic approaches and diagnostics.
With the aging of our population, there is more and more people suffering from osteoarthritis. It is estimated that in USA 1.8 billion is spent every year only for the osteoarthritis patients.
U reumatologiji je napravljen ogroman skok što se tiče terapije. Mi znamo da je reumatoidni artritis autoimuna bolest, međutim ne znamo šta ga izaziva. Taj naš nalaz bio samo još jedna kap koja je doprinela ranijim radovima vezanim za značaj aktivnosti reumatoidnog artritisa kada govorimo o insulinskoj rezistenciji.
Currently, the main problem which I see in our specialty is that we do not have any medications which would be able to not only treat the symptoms, but also slower the progression of the disease.
Ono što mi smatramo najvažnijim, to je da smo pokazali značaj aktivnosti bolesti.
We are concerned by the growing number of elderly people who have problems either with their spine, hip, knee, and we try to find a new drug from the plants that would be able to decrease this disease. And we now potentially have one that could help in the progression of osteoarthritis.
The award will be presented by the International Medis Awards 2020 winner, Rok Yeshe.
I still remember the feelings I had last year when I received the International Medis Award. It was a real recognition of the work I had done in the field. That's why I'm very honored to announce this year's winner of the International Medis Award in the field of rheumatology. And the winner is Gorica Ristic.
Oh, thank you very much. I didn't expect this. It's really something completely new for me, and thank you. Thank you a lot.
What exactly is the role or potential of the clinical pharmacist in hospital departments and other hospital environments? Clinical pharmacy is bursting with numerous discussions and researches. How does that impact the researchers in hospitals and pharmacies?
The main challenge in pharmacotherapy is to know your patient, to basically administer the correct drug to the correct patients in the correct dose. Then the patient will have the most benefits from the therapy. And every variable which can contribute to such good decisions can lead us to the age of personalized medicine, in which the patients will have much more effective treatment.
Electrochemotherapy is a cancer treatment, and bleomycin is a drug which is used in that treatment. So we were actually researching what is going on with that drug in patient's body, and we found out that the drug is actually showing different elimination in younger and in older patients.
What was done in this project is that the dosing algorithm for dozens of clinically very relevant drugs was altered in a way so we can predict this better. And in particular, 10% of the population will not get such a high doses anymore, and they will be spared from adverse drug reactions. In 50 years, when somebody reflects on these times, these will be the times when personalized medicine was introduced, and this will be one of the golden ages of pharmacy.
It is actually a nice feeling that you know that your research is actually helping some patients and that you actually benefit for humanity.
Allow me to introduce our tonight's final award presenter and closing speaker. I happen to know she's well aware of the importance of trust built on knowledge and responsibilities. Dear viewers, guests, doctors and pharmacists and media representatives, the CEO of Medis, the main sponsor of the International Medis Awards, Mrs. Dr. Martina Perharic.
As a pharmacist, it is my great pleasure to announce International Medis Award for Pharmacy. And the winner is Marin Jukic.
Oh, thank you very much. I didn't expect it at this stage. Thank you very much. It's a great news.
Today, we saw inspiring stories of trust from patients, doctors, and pharmacists. These stories are the most credible evidence that supporting researchers is worth the effort and must continue. With the International Medis Award ceremony, we pay tribute to you, the brightest medical and pharmaceutical researchers in the region. Public recognition in the forum of the Medis Awards for Medical Research raises awareness of the importance of your clinical and research work, which contributes to advances in medicine and pharmacy. Furthermore, your efforts help people achieve better treatments, and that is where the greatest power of trust in science lies. We often feel like a lot of things are wrong these days, and we are not okay with it. But dear researchers, doctors, pharmacists, when we follow you and your extensive research, and when we have the privilege of admiring your discoveries that help people live better, we feel and know that many things are going very well in our work today. That is why you deserve to be in the spotlight, at least once a year, if not more often. The public usually only hears about groundbreaking scientific achievements from big countries and other continents. However, the 180 papers evaluated by the International Scientific Committee this year prove that you, esteemed researchers from smaller countries, can also become high-profile ambassadors of science, both at home and abroad. At the same time, it represents additional proof of the high level of trust in science. For us, you are the true heroes, heroes of a better future, a future full of trust. Once again, I would like to express my respect and a big thank you.
9 award areas and 9 winners of the International Medis Awards 2021. A big thanks and congratulations to all heralds of change in medicine and pharmacy. We hope you'll continue your valuable research. We believe in you and in your work. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of our tonight's ceremony. Although miles apart throughout Europe, we enjoyed our time together. I do hope you had a pleasant time yourself, and a big thanks to all involved. Congratulations to all the winners and finalists, and a heartfelt thanks to the scientific committee, the devoted Medis team, and thank you to all who are doing their best to ensure a better tomorrow for all of us. Please share this video with your friends and colleagues who have faith in science and in progress. Dear doctors and pharmacists, please stay tuned for the applications for the IMA Awards 2022, which will open in next year. Now, allow me to conclude this show with a very special treat. Our final guest tonight might as well be included in one of the patient videos. His story is an unhappy one, but we did not want to do that. We would like to present him in the role which he masters most. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a great artist, a composer, a pianist, and accordion player who knows firsthand the relevance of trust in a long battle with an illness lasting many years. Living with incurable disease is impossible without a steadfast trust in medicine and pharmacy. He has composed a brand new piece especially for this occasion, a fitting gift to all the winners and all of us who shall never cease to believe in life. Ladies and gentlemen, Drago Ivanusha and the Ode to the Winners.